Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to Trading Waves. On this short video, guys, I would like us to have a look on the one of the pair that we've shared on Trade of the Week. This is freely available. The time right now is 14:14 GMT, South African time. It's already 16:15 p.m. Right, so I would like us to look at the US dollar versus the SEK. This is a chart that is freely available to to the free members. It's not limited to subscribers only. Okay, so if not limited to the members only, but if you are a subscriber, a free subscriber, you can access this here by logging into this here once you've already signed up, and then you're gonna come to this chart of the week. So if you come on a chart out of the week here, you should see the chart that we share here. So we've already shared this here on a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this was shared on Sunday, and we normally share three charts of the week that you have to look at. So I would like us to have a look on this chart. So this is the US dollar versus the Swedish krona. So this was the chart that was shared on you on a Sunday, and the idea of us sharing this chart here, guys, was for you guys to see if you cannot get a trade setup possible here. All right, so we've been looking at this year to complete this wave one. As you can see that the error was still pointing that we're expecting for a leg to the downside here. We're expecting that we're going to have one more leg to the downside, and then after that we're expecting to get a bounce in a wave two. This bounce could have come in any form of a correction. It could have been come in a single correction or come in a form of a three or 7 or 11 swings. But the bottom line is that we're looking at this. If it does give us this correction, we're looking to trade this move to the downside, and we're trading this against this high here. Right, so now I'm going to take you guys on a live chat, and let's have an update and see how has this US dollar versus the Swedish krona played out after we've shared this here. Okay, let's go on a live chat here. Right, so we'll be looking at this here from the 4 hourly time frame here. We have been looking at this here. I won't be going much details on a daily and the structures on a daily, but I'll be looking at this here from the 4 hourly chart. So we've been looking at this here as a move to the downside, wave one in an intermediate degree. This just take note, the cycle here that has ended here is only visible on a daily. You can only count it on a daily. Hence, I'm only starting from here. I don't want to give out too much details. I'll only be focusing here, and I believe that this should be enough that it can give you guys a trading opportunity. So we're looking at this here as completed the wave one in an intermediate degree, and this being our wave two here in an intermediate degree. Looking at this here as our wave one that has completed, and this being our wave two, and we have this here being our external third wave, and this looks like a seven. This is a seven swing sequence, and looking at it, it has already ended at this higher, and we call this here as a wave four that has top here. This is just a focus that we had that we're expecting this to come into inside the blue box, and from here we expect that we're going to get this move to the downside. And as far as it is, it looks like this is the move that we are getting, that we have been expecting. This was shown on a 4 hourly. It was represented to our guys in a 4 hourly before we got into this blue box that we're expecting to be in the blue box, and then a move to the downside. Hence, you are seeing that we're having that focus. Only to the free members with that we only represented this once it has done this, has finished this move here in seven six weekends, and now the expectation is for this pair to still trade lower and around the area of 740. That is where we're expecting to get a wave five before we can maybe see a bigger pullback, before we can expect to see a three-wave structure like this here, and then a continuation to the downside here. Right, so let's quickly take a look here on 1 hourly. So on a 1 hourly chart, I want us to zoom at this structure here and look at it, and why are we calling for this to continue to trade lower here. So this is what the only thing that you are guys are seeing here on the that free weekly chart. You are seeing this structure here. So we've been looking at this structure here as a WXY structure in the minor degree that you are looking at here. So now looking inside there, we had this move here. This is an impulsive move to the upside, wave A here. This being our three-way to the downside, wave B, and this last leg to be our wave C. Hence, we've got this here as a W, and we are looking at this here as a corrective structure for our wave X here, and this is a last move to the upside, which is our Y. That you can see that this is a clear three wave to the upside here, and this being a correction here, and this last leg here to complete that wave Y. Now we are calling that this has already ended this correction here, and this is the high. At this high here, at this higher, we are calling that US dollar versus the Swedish krona has already ended this cycle. The cycle from the lows of 26 January has already ended here at this peak here of 30 March. And now we are calling for a move to the downside here. And as far as it stands, if when we shared the chart, it was around this area here, and we were looking at this here, that this is an impulsive move coming out of a blue box. This is something that one of the guys they don't get to see here. These blue box areas, guys, I repeat, these are the areas where the buyers and the sellers they make a decision. Once you look to enter a trade here, you are hardly to get wrong. Not that these boxes they are not violated, but 90% of the time you should get a trade right if you execute that trade around this area here of a blue box. So we are looking at this here as already has completed this cycle here from the highs here all the way down here. We are calling this here has already ended the wave one here. Now the expectation is that we get this move here. Now what is what I'm expecting here? We get a bounce to the upside here, and I would expect that bounce to at least come around the area of 50 and 61.8 of wave one. Let me align that wave one here, and we can do an update while we are still making this recording here. So now the expectation here is for this wave two here. So this could just come around this area here, and then you should get a correction around this area. So this could just even be a WXY structure, and then you get a move like this to the upside. You get a move to the upside that should be in three waves. And this case here, this will mean here this is going to be a WXY structure. This will be a three wave to the upside being a W here. When you get a three wave to the downside for an X, and lastly, you expect to see three wave move to the upside here being our Y. Then after that, that should end wave two around this area here. And then after that, you can start to look for a move to the upside here on USD. So that wave two, I would love to see it ending around the area of 60, of 50 and 61.8. It is does not have to end there, but this is where I would like to see this wave to come to an end around this area here. It can even scroll as high up to 78.6, but as long as it won't trade above the 8.766 area, this will be my invalidation level here. So I'm expecting any bounce. So if you're getting any bounce here in 3711 swing, then you should expect to see a move to the downside eventually. So the targets to the wave three here, this will be updated as we go along. So what you want to see for now is that when this move gets around this area here of 5061.8, you should look for an entries for a move to the downside here, with of course your invalidation being here. If they come as far as this area here, then they will be invalidating our wave count, but I'm not expecting that to happen. From here around this area here, we should start to see an impulsively move to the downside, and that impulsively move will only be a wave three in a minor degree. That wave three will be a wave three of the wave five of the intermediate degree. We cannot focus now where that wave three is going to be. Where it's going to end, because we haven't yet completed this wave two. But once we've already ended this wave two, hopefully around this area here, that's only we will be able to project where that wave three could come in. For now, all we know is that after we complete this wave two here, we should expect to get a move to the downside for a wave three. Targets will only be updated once we get the wave two completed. All right, guys. So I hope this video here should give you an idea how are we approaching US dollar SEK. But of course, this is also supported with the dollar index. If you look at the dollar index, it's got a similar structure, and this is exactly what you're expecting on the dollar index. So if you trade the dollar index and you monitor well the structure, you should come here and get this move all right, all right as well, and expect to get this third wave to the downside here. Right, so that's all what I wanted us to have a look at, guys. Cheers and have a good one. Trade safe and bye bye.